army is much bigger than Pure's at this point and much stronger. So Pure is going to have to rely on some superior micro and some critical stasis, which, whoa, stasis, all the EMP. That's actually a really good defensive maneuver because now he doesn't have to worry about getting stasis. But I think he only has like one Arbiter on the field, and that's not going to be good. It looks like this Nexus is about to go down to a single Vulture. Might go down. Oh, barely goes down right as the Dragoons get there, but not that it matters. I don't think any player is even going to commit any more money to SCVs or probes at this point.
Right.
But you can see Pure is just, I don't think his army is big enough here.
Well, I feel like, I mean, even letting 2 Vultures completely kill your Nexus there, he could have used that. He could have maybe transferred some probes over, but he didn't catch it. He was too distracted, and I can understand. There's obviously a lot going on, but you're right. I mean, this whole time, Terran can still be making more tanks. So even if he had decided to push with the attack force that was on the left, he still can make more tanks to defend from the push that came down. So Pure at that point did not have a chance as far as breaking Leta. And I don't really know at this point. I mean, obviously there still is income. He does have 2 mining bases, excuse me. And Leta right now is on 1 mining base, I believe. So he might have 1 mining base unless he decides to pick up the left side that he stole. So Pure actually a lot better off than we had originally thought. So yeah. Pure can rebuild. He can certainly rebuild his army. He is rebuilding right now. But these Vultures just running right past. They're going to check up on that expansion. There is an expansion there. There's no cannons at all. These Vultures are going to be able to completely wipe out all of these probes. All of these probes are going to go down here. This is a mass murder of probes unless they can get a recall in probably to defend. I don't know if that was his plan. Probes are going to go down. This expansion is going to go down. And look at that. You can look at the map.
No comsat, though.
Oh, you're right. There is no comsat. And I don't know if the science vessels, anything happened to those science vessels that were there, or if they are still active, or if they're able to get taken out. But Vulture killing of Nexuses, you don't see it very often here. Great mine placement all around the Nexus. And there are no observers. There was like 3 observers that came in from the main attack from Pure. Okay, there is an observer. Okay, good. Pure is learning here. He brought observer in, saved his Nexus. He cannot afford to lose Nexuses at this point. We see a CC that's going to go over there, and it's going to drop down to try to transfer all those probes. Another CC coming over here. So both players trying to expand out, and at this point, it's pretty much a matter of who's going to hang on to their expansion. It's a game of save the expansion. Wow, right here, a recall coming in, not very good, and an EMP going off. Those are going to be melting any time now from the tanks. A failed recall by Pure. You can see it in his face. That was actually a really good idea, but he just went in right on top of a bunch of mines and got shelled on by tanks. So again, who can hold their expansions at this point? Who can outlast on this map? Because we are really getting down to the late game here as it goes.
Well, yeah, I'm really surprised that Leta didn't push his advantage more when he had it and just try to kill off Pure earlier with that force that he had. I guess he just figured he should pick up some expansions, and he was doing that at the same time, but I didn't think it was necessary. I really thought Leta had the game won. I still think that, I mean, it's kind of interesting because both this game and the last game, we thought the game was over, and then the players were able to somehow rebuild, which is really surprising. Right. Part of it's what they show on screen, because a lot of times they don't show, other players rebuilding, or maybe we just missed it, but because there's just so much going on. But one thing I think is it's these maps, these OSL maps. They cater to these longer games. I mean, this map it's pretty maneuverable, like in the middle, but otherwise you can hold your base. And you really want to stay at your base a lot because of these harassing attacks. This map encourages you to harass like crazy. Right. I mean, you can go around the sides and harass, you can recall and harass. So it's like when you're constantly, oh, and look at this little recall just to get across the mineral line there. It's just a desperate recall there almost, but it is going to be effective. It is going to take that command siren down. I don't think that command siren is going to make it away in time. Leta does not have enough forces there. It looks like Leta does have some Vultures running around the map, and it looks like he's sending his Vultures and this shuttle or dropship. Probably has a tank in there to try to take out this base again, but man, I'm really surprised that Leta didn't just try to totally take advantage of Pure earlier when he had the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I agree. He had out-armied Pure, and at this point, because Pure had more mining bases, I believe at that point, Pure was able to rebuild, as you can see here. Pure is getting units on the map. Great AMP there. Crippling the Arbiters is key. Both of those Arbiters are actually really weak. Another EMP making sure, but there aren't any anti-air. There isn't, just a couple rays to kill them off. There isn't any sort of Goliath. Obviously, Arbiters do barely any damage, so that's not a big deal. But the cannons are going to be able to get taken out by the tank before it's destroyed. Look at that. You see 2 empty bases there, 2 different empty bases without any mining. And just this, 30 seconds is critical in a game like this I think Leta at this point is still mining off of at least one base. It looks like he's mining off of 2 bases, and I think maybe 1 or 2. So again, this game is really close, you guys. I mean, this game can literally go either way here. And Vultures attacking the Nexus again, as we keep seeing here. Leta's using these Vultures extremely well. Mines have been critical to this game, and then the lack of observers for Pure in running into those mines, and using the Arbiters. See, you know things are getting a little rough.
And the
Whoa! Beautiful. Again, mass probe homicide here. These probes are going down. This Nexus is going to go down. And I agree with you, Steve. I think that Pure has done a good job in trying to get back. I don't want to call the game because anything can certainly happen. But at this point, I think Leta is out-macroing and out-microing him.
Well, right now, I think finally Pure doesn't have a base. He definitely had 2 expansions earlier. I know at least one of those is taken out. It's really hard to tell on the minimap because this map is so big and there's so many mineral patches everywhere. Right. But I don't think Pure has a mining base anymore. I don't know why they don't show it. It's pretty critical to the game. But Leta definitely has that base. And maybe this one here. Yep, he's got 2 bases. God. Not a lot of money left there. But you can see, I think the bankroll, Leta actually has 1,000 in the bankroll there on the bottom right, which, like you said, that's pretty cool. And it looks like Pure might be getting out of a little sign of desperation. We're seeing some more Templars out. You know, when you start running out of minerals, you start building Templar because all you have is gas. And it looks like there's 1 Nexus remaining. Oh, actually, he does have a base up the top right. Okay, so they didn't show that. They're so close to each other. I'm surprised Leta hasn't spotted that and gone up there and taken that out. But yeah, Pure and transferring some probes there. That's risky business. And it looks like the Vultures have spotted the probes. Are the Vultures going to make it to the probes? Oh, but there's mines are going to take out these Dragoons. Pure being careless. And here come the Vultures. He scans. Oh, critical stasis, though, by Pure. Pure stasis is his own probe to block the ramp. Brilliant move, saving all those probes. I don't know if it's going to be enough to come back in this game, but a nice stasis there by Pure. Pure has been relying on his Arbiters to keep his probes alive, whether it was cloaking them or doing something like that. Actually, a lot of Zealots coming out here, so Pure having a decent force. I don't know how those Zealots are going to do against all these Vultures, though. And really, Pure hasn't been on Leta's side of the map for a long time, if you think about that. Leta's been kind of just working out with impunity, and now you can see the side count. Leta has finally taken advantage, where earlier it was pretty tight. He's finally taken advantage, so that's definitely showing how Leta is pretty much closing out this game, I think. And even those, now that probe is unstasis, there's still 2 Vultures there, and 1 Zealot going to go out and try to kill it. Leta's not paying attention to that. I don't know, are those probes still up there?
Yeah, the probes are mining, and there's cannons. He was able to have time.
Though,
so I mean, it was a very good move. It was a very key move. Are the cannon? Okay, the cannons are powered. I was going to say. Here's the thing, though. Leta at some point is just going to unsiege his tanks and his defense, and then he's going to instantly have another giant Terran ball. And
well, that's what I felt. You know, I felt like he could have done that so many times in this game.
Right.
So he's just been waiting, and it's been a little risky because the longer he waited, the more he got recalled, and the more he was in danger of losing the game. So it is hard for a Terran to turtle on this map and compared to some other maps. Really, it's hard for any player to turtle on this map. But at the same time, it kind of encourages it because you're getting harassed so much that you don't really want to go out. Because as soon as you leave your base with your forces, then Pure just recalls in. You know, and then half your army split up. So, you know, Leta left his base and was able to take out all those bases of Pure earlier. But then, you know, he did lose some damage here. And quite a few probes getting taken out here again. Pure having to desert this expansion here. Although I think he is going to clean it up with the Zealots that he has. But again, that's critical mining time lost. I don't know how much minerals Leta even has left, but I think that he's mined enough. Yeah, he's still got some minerals left, and now he's unsieging. There's the unsiege you were talking about.
There we go.
That is a huge force. See, he's been playing defense, but all he needs to do is move that huge force, and that's going to be a game-ending move, I think, for Pure.
He's using the mines, you can see, to cut off the map, to cut off all those units that are out of position. He sent over a few units on the left to move all of the units, catch them out of position. A pretty good stasis by Pure. In fact, actually a very good stasis, catching the science vessels. This might actually put a stop to Leta's advance. In fact, it looks like it has temporarily. But you see the strategic maneuver by Leta, drawing all of Pure's forces to the left, then moving to the right, and then blocking them off. Now we are going to see a counterattack attempt going in here as Leta's moving out. But again, like, what does Leta have to lose at this point? He really doesn't have any bases to worry about at this point as far as mining goes. He has tons of mines. Whoa! Not very good mine drags. Luckily, all of those units sitting on those mines there. So this is going to draw Leta back. But look at the top under that teal there. Leta still has half of his force sitting there at the base of Pure. And once this is it. There's 3 Dragoons left, and then I think we're going to see a nice little teal GG. Boom, there it is.
There it is. You're right. That was the last of Pure's army. Leta finally was able to cut down all of Pure's expansions except for that one, which didn't have probes at it because it was stopped so long. So, man, huge game, but Leta finally takes the victory. So guess what? It's going to be a game 3.
Yeah.
Now that you've forgotten everything that happened tonight since we just watched an hour-long game.
I forgot game 1. I mean, I don't even remember who won that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, Pure won that.
Okay, so we had, Pure versus Hyuk. Pure beat Hyuk in a best of 3, and now, unfortunately, Pure, gosh, he's played some huge long games. He's got to be so exhausted. Definitely plays a factor here. Leta did play a long game there, though, too, so he's pretty tired. But it's going to go to game 3. Looks like both players are going to go out, compose themselves, get a drink of water, talk to the booth babes, and we'll be back for game 3.
Here we go.